remember one thing. There were a couple interesting things happened. One, there was a benefit for the Mama, and they brought Charles Mingus and his jazz band into town. This, I think, was about 74, 75, 75. I really don't remember. All I know is Mingus got to town and said he wasn't going on stage unless he had some cocaine. So the phone call went out to me. This I just remembered. The phone call went to me to find some cocaine for Charles Mingus. And I'm about 25 years old, and, one of the major figures of American jazz music. I got him a gram of cocaine and went up to the Park Motor Inn to his room and knocked on the door, and Charles got his cocaine. There were a lot of other interesting collisions between what I consider to be music and art versus what we were doing. Another one is I had a poem called Obtuse Uncle Clyde. And actually, no, I'm sorry. I had that, but I also had a piece called Bohemians on Reefer Row, which was a celebration. I had read Mesro's Really the Blues, and I was filled with fervor for Reefer. So Diane DiPrima was coming to town for a reading. Somehow I got invited to perform at the same time. So I had a baggy blue suit with a beret, and I did Bohemians on Reefer Row. I'll never forget the looks that I got doing that. I think it just sort of sums up the difference. At the time, everything seemed so serious. Everything seemed so political. Everything had to be, all the notes had to be in the right place, and the meter had to be right. I think at this time we were discovering we could be absurdist, we could have humor. We also, I think, were discovering that we had a culture here. Up until that point, nobody was celebrating the kind of corniness and the good humor and the characters of the state of Wisconsin. In a lot of ways, I think a lot of us here in Madison who were from the state dealt with a lot of New Yorkers and a lot of people from outside the state who brought us an idea of what culture was. So I think a lot of this was us just finding our own rhythm and culture. I did a piece that I remember was one of my favorite things I ever did at the Americana Club. It was a political benefit. I think it was when Paul Soglin came back, but it was a benefit. And what that was a demonstration of a young boy who had been arrested by the Wisconsin State Police for smuggling colored oleo across the border. So back when that was a law, you couldn't smuggle yellow margarine across the border. Again, it was the whole idea of we were celebrating our culture. We used to do a lot of characters from northern Wisconsin and from our experiences in Wisconsin. I think it was a very different time than it is now. Performance art was just coming along, but again, performance art always, to me, has this kind of serious connotation to it. I think this is more cabaret and was more absurd.